Josh.
What are these keys to the building?
Yeah, and some other stuff on them. How's it going, Allison?
Good, thank you.
Allison, I haven't met you.
This is Tom Marie.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Surprised you're in here. You've been here for like 3 weeks. I will make sure I stop by and say hi.
I'm working part-time, so I've been doing a lot of training on the systems and things like that.
Fantastic.
So Gina is coming in.
She is coming away. How about Dan?
I haven't seen, so.
Let me try Dan. No, wrong Dan.
Where's Smalley?
I don't know. I assume he didn't respond to my text this afternoon, but I assumed he was coming on because we got lots of info.
Yeah, I'm driving by and said, "Jeez,
Just
yeah, I haven't received it, but there's no car."
give me 1 second, guys, and we'll get this thing rolling. I'm just checking on Dan.
Very small, dude. You did a great job. Yes, some Charlie rubbed up.
No, it came out okay. It came out pretty good.
Did the recreation room get painted?
Yeah, painted, new floor. Jim got
Looks
rid of
nice.
all the old crap from the water department, so it
It looks nice.
yeah.
I wish I was there.
Mike, next meeting.
I'm a man of very few words, but people know what I say.
All right, okay. Welcome to the meeting for November. We want to, those of you who don't know, Mike, that's Allison. She's our new assistant here. Gina, that's Allison, if you haven't met her. That's our new.
Oh, she's taking Brooks' place?
Yes. Nobody can
Oh,
take
okay.
Brooke's place, but she's doing her best to help us. So that's
Is she the new lady that was hired by the town to take Brooks' place?
yes.
Oh,
Yep.
good.
Yep.
So I'm sorry I
Nope.
started off on the wrong foot, Allison.
Just get used to it.
Welcome
We're still,
aboard.
as far as approving our meeting minutes, we're a little behind on that. So we should probably bypass that again today, and then we'll work with Allison to get caught up on some of our meetings and whatnot. And obviously Allison's here today, so she's taking notes and so forth. So we'll Allison, I'll talk to you at some point about, we'll go over those meetings and whatnot, because everything's recorded and we can make up some ground there.
Okay.
I'm going to jump ahead. I had mentioned to you guys last month about Little League looking into replacing scoreboards and seeing what they could do. They were kind of in the exploratory process, getting prices, ideas, things like that. I want to welcome Mike Rocha to the meeting. He's on, as well as a business owner, he is on Bridgewater Little League, does a lot of fundraising for the organization and stuff. So he's done some work here, and he's got some good ideas on how to pay for it. So Mike, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you for having me. So in the last year, we had a tough time with our scoreboards. We can't accurately keep track of a game anymore because there's so many, they're so old, and they're in a state of disrepair and not worth fixing. So what we've found so far is we've gotten a quote from Scoreboard Enterprises in Mansfield to replace the 3 scoreboards on the baseball fields. It's about, grand total would be about $52,000 for the 3 scoreboards. That would be, removal of the existing ones, everything short of, I think, electrical. But, it's a project that I think is necessary. And what we're going to do is go to the 3 banks in town and get them to see if we can submit the plans and get some community funds that they have to offset the costs, which would give them advertising space on the scoreboards for a period of 5 years, depending on what they go for. It comes down to about 52 divided by 3. So that's past my pay grade. Was it like 17 grand?
Yeah.
So, it's a major project that, we feel is necessary for the league. These, plus when we host tournaments or outside towns, when they come in, it's kind of embarrassing to not be able to have a professional or even semblance of, we're bringing umpires in, we're asking kids to compete, and we can't provide them with an a quality experience. So that's, I think it's an important thing we do for the league.
Yeah,
Does anybody have any questions about?
I just sent you guys all a picture of just a rough idea what they look like. I know last month either Dan or somebody had asked for a picture of what we're looking at. So I just texted you guys each a picture of what potentially they would look like. Just a standard scoreboard. And I know I've talked a lot about, improving Legion Field, and I think this is a step in that direction. It is tough. It's one thing for our own town league games. We don't have operating scoreboards, but, for hosting district games or other tournaments and whatnot, it is nice to have scoreboards that work. So Mike is working on his end to try to fund them, as he just explained, through the league. And then with whatever they come back with, then if there's a gap, we can discuss it and then put it to the town manager's office or whatnot, try to bridge that gap. But I think it's necessary anyway that we have it, in my opinion. So
I'd be in favor, see if the town has revenue that could help with the financial cost of it. Can I ask you, what kind of scoreboard? Is it just home and away team with the score, and what else does it have? For 17,000. Okay,
just a standard.
Yeah, so that's
ball
pretty.
strip.
That's
The
pretty.
reason why it's so expensive is we can't reuse the footings and steel that we have. So we're looking at about $12,000 a scoreboard. What's that?
No, I was talking to Tom about the footings, how the footings and steel that's there. Technically, the steel can be used. I think the question the company had when they looked at it was the way the steel is bridged, but it's bridged to code, so that's fine. But the footings themselves aren't great. The one at Hayes, I believe, the footings are too far out of the ground, or not far enough in the ground.
Okay.
And then the ones out here for Lazaro, I'm not sure there are footings there. The steel goes down as far as I could dig with, at least 6 or 8 inches. It's just steel going into the ground. So, but
Okay, so I haven't looked at the other portions of it. Today, basically, we got a quote for 52, 27.9 of it is for excavation and installation of new footings, steel, providing the steel, providing the manpower, everything, soup to nuts. That's replacing. I don't know if it's excavating what they have already there, but it is, installing new footings and steel to their specifications. I would love to not have to spend $27,000 on that, but at the same time, who's gonna GC that? And so that's what, why I want to go to the banks and get as much as I can. And, if there's other local companies like a Spartago Construction or, Graziano Ready Mix, if we can get some materials from them, but I would like to explore getting as much as we can paid for by the banks or other local sponsors, and then see where we need to
Yeah,
ask the town for money or what we need to do ourselves.
yeah, I think like, you work with the banks on your end, see what you can do. As far as that steel and concrete goes, I think we could take care of that. But we'll do it the way that, if they're gonna install it on, this, on the beams, if we get it up, we'll do it so they don't have any issues with the way we do it and whatnot, but it's something that can all be worked with anyway, and we can
Yeah.
make that happen relatively easy. I think it's something that can happen, even if we do, have the town pay Little League raise some funds, however, but, like Mike and he told me his plan earlier, but, yeah, attack the banks and see what you can do, and then we can work with some of the other local businesses.
There's a steel fabricator and he does beams down off of 106, Jim Walsh. He has a place right here in Bridgewater. And, he's a donator. He donates. He had kids go through the program.
See Ashmont?
Great.
Ashmont,
Ashmont,
Welding too, he goes by.
Yeah. Ashmont and Bridgewater
Yeah, great
Halifax
guy.
line there.
If you went
Yeah, I
down,
mean, all these great, I need to, so today was the first day I got the quote back from the company for the installation of it. And, I just want to do my due diligence to make sure I get everybody, you guys knowing what's going on so that you don't see construction and new scoreboards going up in Legion Field. And also, an outlay of 52 grand, that's a lot of money. So as many people who can help, I would love to use as much experience as I can.
Did they give you a diagram of the steel and what it has to be, the measurements and everything?
So
before
they're
the
gonna
floorboard is
do,
put in?
they want 22 feet beams, 3 feet into the ground, 4x8 beams, 3 feet into the ground. So, I've asked a couple people what that means, like how deep those footings actually have to be, but I would like to get at least their engineered plans. Like
Yeah.
if they're not gonna actually install it, I would like to see that we do this in a fashion that we're confident these scoreboards are going to stay up for the next 20 years, because that's about how old the ones are now.
and
So-
those boards are still standing. Mike,
Yep.
you have a member here. Mike, didn't you install some of those?
No, I paid for a third of them.
You did, okay. Who put the steel up?
I don't know.
You don't remember, okay. I'm trying to remember.
It's probably 20 years ago, 22 years ago.
I think Charlie may have been involved with
Oh, that makes sense.
putting it up.
Yeah.
We had a group of guys during that time, we had a big group of people involved in Little League who just did. They
Just
did
step
it
up
all.
and did it.
Yeah, just did it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be great too. It's just,
Yeah.
No, great.
No, Mike, the work done's great. That's, and that's why I wanted to bring it to the commissioners and stuff, so that everybody was up to date with what we had going on, so that there was no surprises and everything else. So,
Yep.
we'll just keep the lines of communication open and,
Mhm.
let me know when you get their engineered plans, and, and we'll see what we can actually do that's feasible for us to do on our end to help knock some of the costs down. I'm confident we can knock that 27,000 cost down quite a bit, and, we'll work on it, but I appreciate you putting that work together anyway for us.
I mean, this-
Thank you for your time, everyone. I appreciate it.
This town
Good
has
night.
always been a town that steps up to the plate as far as helping with things like this. I heard that the town doesn't want that anymore. Is that true?
Mike,
Doesn't want help.
remember we did the clubhouse, they didn't want us to do it. Oh man, the union's gonna come after us.
No. I thought the upper management didn't want any volunteer work being done anymore. Wasn't
Well,
that said a while ago?
well, that I don't know, Jim would have to know there, but down here, I mean, because Charlie has done stuff, for years, did it for years, and then Jim's still done some stuff. I have no issue taking the bull by the horns on that one and making that work, because it's simple, it's just a matter of doing everything to code. It's easy. It's a matter of putting the footings 4 feet down, sticking the steel beams 3 feet in them, setting them, and then we're good to go. And then, but I think I'm not as concerned with that part as just, we'll get the funding for the signs, and then we'd like to have them a go, so they're good to go for next spring. For this beginning of spring baseball. So we're doing the legwork now. If we can get some stuff in the ground before it freezes, that's great. If we can't, we'll jump on it first thing and have things ready to roll. But I think we'll just keep the lines of communication open with Mike and
It'd be easier to get half of that money from the banks than the whole
Oh, yeah.
thing. Sure.
Yep. Especially
And if that's something we can do, I'd be happy to help out. I
awesome.
know when we did the archway for the music alley, I vacuumed out the 2 trenches for it, and helped Charlie lay all the bricks. But that same fellow, Jimmy Welsh from Ashmont, he donated all the steel and built that whole entryway. And then we all put it in and Graziano gave us the cement for nothing.
Awesome.
All right, that's great to know. Thank you for the information, and I'll start doing legwork.
Good.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks. Good night.
Yeah,
Good night.
Graziano's a local guy too. His kids.
Yeah.
His
Yep.
kids went to school there.
Yep.
So they're all.
Yeah, no, I'm friendly with all of them. I've done work for them and stuff. And
Oh, you
stuff.
do? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That big building you just been, I upfit the inside of that one. So
Oh, good.
So,
Good.
we all still know each other, despite the age gaps. We all know each other.
Age, just a number.
So yeah, just jump Mike up so we could knock him out of the way. And John Hart, I see you're on. Is this correct?
Yes.
Oh, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. We can, if you want, if you want to give us some kind of an update, and then you don't have to listen to all the stuff that most people don't want to listen to.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
From the parks, my end of it, as far as also called passive recreation, things have been going great. Everybody's letting me do what I do, and no one's bothering me. And it's been a fantastic job for me. I love every minute of it. Couple things that's going on. We recently, I believe with Allison's help, I saw today that the park informations are finally on the Park and Recreation website. That's a big step where you actually go to the park section and you can read about the 6 parks. The information's got to get a little bit more updated, but at least it's there now. Next, Allison, we got to get me on the website so they can know who to contact. So the town actually gave me a cell phone and a laptop too. So now people can get a hold of me,
No,
which is great. So I have a lot more connection. As far as you guys want to talk about each individual parks, I'll give you a quick rundown. Stiles and Hart. I have no information on Stiles and Hart right now. I don't know what's going on. I know they're in the process of maybe going to bid. I don't know.
I think that's we met not in October but September. Michael Dutton sat down with us, and then the designer, and went through everything, and we gave it our approval. So I think it's the bidding process. I know Mike Dutton wanted to get on it because some of the money they were getting from they had maybe the Army Corps of Engineers or something. There was a timeline on it, so he wanted to get moving on it. So out of our hands and in his now. So
it's gonna be great. I tell you, wait till you guys see this. That park is phenomenal. A lot of people I know haven't been out there, or I haven't been out there in a long time. That's really exciting piece of property for the townspeople once it gets going. I'm really looking forward to watching that happen. Mr. Dutton also semi-employed me on the side to help once they get up and running, to be part of kind of overseeing a little bit of it when it gets going. That's nice. That's kind of where the laptop and the cell phone came involved. Which is nice. I'm looking forward to that. Ironworks, as Mr. Flaherty knows, they're coming along. Looks like they're going to try to get that opened up pretty soon down on High Street. The park has been fully accessible the whole time. A gentleman named Steve Black, who's kind of like the park steward, does a great job in there. I think that, once they get everything back open, the water flowing, we haven't missed a beat there. Another big one is Wyman Meadows. I don't know, you guys probably don't know much about Wyman Meadows down off of Plymouth Street, but there's a park that's directly adjacent to Wyman Meadows. You guys know about this? I'm not sure.
Is that where the wells are, John?
Yeah, that's where the wells are. Yeah. But there's to the left of that, I forget how many acres there is, but there's a park that's been landlocked for years that's called Norfolk that it's called Wirelands Trust. Is a management company. They actually manage the property down the end of Auburn Street. And they took over this property to the left of Wyman. And now some of you might know, some of you might not. The town gave approval to add a trail from Wyman Meadows into this piece of land. So now it'll be fully accessible. As it's, like I said, it's directly adjacent to Wyman Meadows. It should be another great, valuable asset because nobody really goes down there because there's a gate down there now where the pumping station is, and you really can't get access to some of the property that is actually accessible for passive recreation. So I'm hoping they're going to be down there tomorrow. I'm going to go down there tomorrow and talk to the gentleman, Owen, and see if we can connect the two of them while they're on site for the next few weeks and see what the potential is to have them both joined together to be used in the future. But that's going to be a nice addition for the people in Bridgewater. Another beautiful park, takes you right down to the Taunton River. It's a pretty cool spot once they're going to be done with. They had to build a couple small bridges over some streams and things like that. So it's going to be nice when it's done. What else do I have for you guys? Go ahead.
Are there paths like you
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't existing paths. They have carved out paths in this property, North Fork, but to get at it, like I said, you had to go down the driveway that takes you to the well station, and they cut trails to the left. It's going to take you right into this area that was all landlocked.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really nice when it's done. It's really pretty cool if you want to go for a walk with a dog in the woods and everything else.
It looks like, John,
Yeah.
on the Wildlands Trust Facebook page, it looks like they cleared a lot of trails the other day.
Yeah.
So it's coming along good.
Yeah. We just got an email the other day that they're thinking the beginning of December, mid-December, it should be done, and they should be able to announce it that it's open, and it should be open for use. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be really cool. What else? Carver's Pond. I don't have much. The highway department was there today, clearing all the leaves, and probably at some point I'd love to see the town do something with Carver's Pond parking lot because it's a kind of a disaster. But that's in the future. That's not a big deal. Camp Titicate's good. I think that's about all I got. Getting the information on the website's huge, Allison. I think you probably had something to do with that today.
I actually didn't. I think they just caught up with what they had pending.
Oh, good. So that's a big plus. And again, I'll have my name on the webpage at some point, and people can get a hold of me direct. So everything's
John,
great on my end.
Thanks for all you do, and I'm glad you enjoy it.
I love it. It's a blast. It
great.
really is. It's perfect for a
I
retired
look
guy
forward
like
to
me.
going down there.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But all right, thank you very much, everybody.
John, before you go, can I just ask you about the Jenny Leonard Park? Do you know anything about that?
I don't. I know where it is. I would love to see a playground put back there because it's down my end of town, but I don't know who managed it. I don't have any idea. I don't know anything about it.
From what I gather is, I think it's the Oldfield Estates is behind it.
Yep.
It was part of the agreement with them to put in a parking lot and to clear the property.
Oh.
Planning board said the other day that the parking lot has been put in, and all the old structures that were falling apart and graffitied and the whole bit, they've cleared all those away. And from what I gather, that's falling, because it's a park, it's falling under Parks and Recreation.
Oh.
Yep. Jim, have you heard anything on that?
What's up? No, I haven't heard anything at all.
Okay. And how about the park at the mobile station? Anything on that?
I met with the on-site engineer and what's the guy's name from the conservation there? It'll come to me in a second, but not really. She put together a proposal, and I think it's in front of the town manager now, but it doesn't really look like it's going to be anything that we're going to be taking care of. So that's nice.
That's good. I'm meeting tomorrow for community preservation with the town manager. providing he's not still sick. I know he's been out sick. I will check on Styles and Hart. These are things that CPC paid for. Styles and Hart. The Jenny Leonard, well, not Jenny Leonard, but the mobile station. And I will ask about Jenny Leonard too, to check on that.
Good. But if you guys don't need me, I'm gonna go have some dinner. You're good?
Thank
John,
you.
if, John, real quick, not to keep you, but
Yeah.
if we hit you up for unless something jumps up, we'll hit you up maybe every other month just to give us an update. You know, I don't think we need it every month, but every other
Whatever you
month.
guys want. Absolutely. Put me on the agenda. Yeah, I would absolutely love to be at any meeting you guys need me.
Okay.
Hey, John,
Great, thanks, John.
just give us updates. Like, one of the things I'm curious about is Wyman Meadows. Now, is the signage so people know where to go?
No, right now there's just a blank. Well, there's a kiosk. You can't see anything from the street. You'd never even know it's even there. It's just a paved road. So once you go down the road about a couple 100 feet, there's a little kiosk there, and there's nothing on it. Signage is, Mr. Dunton has told me that signage is a big problem, in my opinion, with a lot of the parks, other than maybe Carver's. And he said once the Styles and Hart project got going, they were going to try to standardize all the signage and make it all the same, make it all so it's things are a lot more visible, which
I like that
makes
idea.
complete sense. So I've been kind of sitting back, me and Jim, and waiting for that to happen so we can get some signage. I'm even looking between us guys. I'm trying to find a drone guy to do some drone work of the park, and I got big ideas, but you know, that would be nice to do too. But the signage is supposed to be coming per Mr. Dunton.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Anything you need from us, let us know. We'll.
Okay. Yeah. If you guys need any, get a hold of me anytime. No problem.
Great. Thank you, John.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right. So we got John. John was done. John came with an update. Okay. Kind of got a few things, do some updates from, we'll go through the list with Jim, and then some things I can jump in on too. Jim, you got anything from Old Scotland Links for the month?
I couldn't get a hold of Chris, but I know you and I had talked about the water station last time, so we all know that's in. I'm getting good feedback. I know that basically they're like every other golf course in the area. It rained every weekend since the beginning of time, so I don't think the rounds are going to exceed what they had performed last year. But the place is in great shape. Yeah. So that's good news.
Looks like I golfed it for the first time all year 2 weeks ago, and it was in really good shape. So didn't help the golf game, but it was in good shape.
Yeah, right.
New hires, obviously, Allison. You've all met her now. She's working out well. Who's the other guy, Jim? That you guys
Tom.
Tom.
His name's Tom. Yeah, I think it's been about a month. So yeah, everything's working out good. We're getting a lot done down there, so that's always nice. And yeah.
Good. You can start with this one if you want, Jim. We got the results of we had our playground inspection done, and it was a very thorough lady that that did the job. And I get if inspecting playgrounds costs $4,800, I guess we got our money's worth, because she was very thorough. She cares a lot. She wanted immediate closures on certain things removed right away. If it was up to her, I think every playground in town would have been closed right away.
Yeah, right.
Kim was working hand in hand with her. I was in the area for a few days, so I came down and met with her as well, and just tried calming her down a little bit, because she is very passionate about what she does and kids, which is good. At least we get somebody that cares what they're doing. But some of the immediate needs that had to be taken care of right away, Jim and his crew, myself, we were able to get them taken care of. Some things were removed, some things were repaired. There's some things that she wants to see, and granted, she doesn't dictate what we do, but this is why we paid her, was for the inspection report. And there's some things that need to change and be adjusted. I was gonna send everybody a copy of her reports, but they're literally 12 or 13 pages each. I can send those all to you guys in email so you have them if you want. But for tonight, I think it was gonna be kind of overwhelming because it's very detailed. But the point is, unless I'm missing anything, Jim, anything emergency that needed to be shut down or removed was done so.
Yep.
Emergency repairs were done. We removed a couple of pieces of equipment. Jim's gonna reach out to the manufacturer and replace those pieces of equipment so that we didn't really, especially it was 2 weeks ago, I think, when we had 3 nice days in a row was when she inspected and the playgrounds were
Yep.
closed. So we kind of, for myself, Jim has his job to do and his responsibilities. I wasn't trying to bypass any of you. I just know it was going to be 80 degrees and she wanted to close Marathon Park. And that was kind of a no-go. So in the morning, we just took care of some things and got it. So we were open back up the next day and ready to rock. So,
Thank
Um,
you.
Yeah, that was great.
Good.
but
What are the most of the common deficiencies?
some of the stuff throughout the fixture, there's screws missing.
Oh,
Some screws were loose. We replaced some screws. A few things were broken. The climbing wall at Marathon Park was broken in 2 points, 2 of the 6 connection points. So that's dangerous, obviously.
can they be repaired?
It has to be replaced. The whole, because it's the whole board piece. So instead of, now that we've had this inspection done, if Jim repairs it or we have somebody repair it, and something happens, then technically we knew about it, we're liable. And the best way to fix these situations with playground equipment is just replacing it. She was like talking at one point, like we needed to replace the whole playground. And I'm like, what would that cost ballpark? Because she also installs playgrounds, coincidentally. She's like, I don't know, a couple $100,000. I was like, well, we'll make some repairs. There's some spacing issues on some things that surpass the 3.5 inches. That not only you're not supposed to have in playgrounds, but on decks and porches with railings and stuff. Jim and I, we're talking about possible action plans to, lower a few rails. A couple of the slides aren't wide enough, so we're looking at ordering a couple of slides to get it wide enough. The big spear down there has a gash in the steel. That was the one thing that we had to shut down completely because you can put tape over it, but if somebody tears that tape and a kid cuts himself, they'll lose a finger on that. So
Such down.
yeah. It's the regular, I don't know what gauge steel it is, but it's
Can it be welded?
cut a kid's finger. So
Can it be welded?
potentially, maybe. That's something we can look at, Jim. We can talk about that too. I know we have to go over the list of equipment we want to order and swings and things like that. But it possibly, if we can do it in a manner that it's not it's more of a safety cut your finger issue than it is a structural issue. It's not going to fall apart.
Yeah.
Some swings, the back walkway, concrete walkway was too close to the swings, I guess. But
You're curious, I'm
Yep.
going through this.
Yep.
There's a lot of pages on Marathon Park.
oh yeah,
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
That was put in by spec, by what? Unless the rules have changed, if there's new regs, this has gotta be grandfathered in. Because we had it all looked at, Marathon Park
Yep.
was like, that was like the Cadillac.
she had said, and keeping all the ears open and whatnot to everything she's saying. Obviously keep much. She installs playgrounds, she installs higher end playgrounds. She's not a big fan of this particular manufacturer, but her biggest issue was that was a community built playground, and I guess those just aren't as common anymore because of liability purposes. But there was she has a point on a few things. Like there's a lot of screws missing all around. The thing's not falling apart, but in an area where there should be 100 screws, there's 75. And she's got a leg to stand on there. But again, it's just a matter of us, because she's like, well, you get the stuff prepared, you got to pay prevailing wage and bring people in, and Jim and I are like, or we can just put the screws in ourselves and be done with it. We're still.
But
Yeah.
you got a project.
There's a lot there.
This is, Mike, this is unbelievable.
That's just one of 4. That's one of 4.
This is incredible.
So she is thorough. She definitely thorough. But in listening to her, because like I said, when I say passionate, she's like your mother scolding you, basically. Jim got it the first day.
Yeah.
But I listened to what she said, and I was watching all the stuff she pointed out. And we never put the softball playground on the list,
Thank God.
but we got a quote from her. But I went down there, and again, I don't inspect playgrounds for a living. I wish I did, because $4,800 is good money. But all the points that she was bringing to my attention, I went down there and kind of went point by point on the whole playground, and there's really no issues. I discussed that with Jim, so we got the quote from her. But I don't. Now that we know what she looks for, Jim and I, we get it. We can explain to you guys too. It's, it saves us $4,800 in 5 years doing it again, because we know the things.
Well,
So
the problem you have right now is that somebody ever gets hurt and an attorney comes. And
right.
says,
Well, that's
oh, that is a scary.
well, and that's why we address the emergency things
Good.
to get the park back open. And then the more I talk to her, like some of the missing screws and this and that, and some of the spacing, there's some areas that she finds more vital than others. So she was on board with the course of action. She was very impressed that the next day we went and fixed all this stuff. So because we weren't, Jim kept me up to speed on it real quick. And like I said, I was in Bridgewater. It was nice. So, I was probably being a little extra nosy, but I'm glad I was, just to get on some of these things. And one of the bases, but one of the playground sets just had a very weak footing in it. I think it had fallen off the footing down on the ground. Jim dug it up, poured concrete. It's solid now. And everything that we fixed or corrected was fixed the right way. We didn't do any Band-Aid stuff that Jim has to go back and do again in 3 or 4 months or next year. The stuff we fixed was stuff that we fixed it so that it doesn't have to be fixed again. And that's why some of the stuff, the equipment we're going to order, we have to order some new swings, those little spring things in the ground. One was broken. We got to get a new one of those, a new climbing wall. We're going to get a couple wider slides.
Wasn't there money for this? Didn't Mark Oliari leave money for that?
Yeah, there was an account for playground maintenance. It's got like $9,600 in it, minus the $4,800 for her inspection. So, I don't think that what's left will cover the equipment we have to order, but at least it'll help.
Does the town have money for this?
Well, and Mike Dutton, when I have talked to him, he doesn't want to just like some in the past. Sometimes we just remove stuff, or I know Charlie just didn't have the money, so it just kind of take things out. And he wants to, if something isn't, operating or it's manufactured or whatever anymore, he wants to order something comparable, but he doesn't.
We're getting a
he
new
doesn't want to just
climbing
get
wall
rid of
then.
it. Yeah, he wants to just replace everything that's there and not kind of just take it out and not replace it.
That's
So
good.
that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he seemed pretty receptive to, whatever we needed down there to, we'll find a way to get it funded. As we should. We have this stuff, like I've been saying, since July. We have it. Let's fix it the right way. Have it, keep it, and do things the right way. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it was good that Jim kept in touch with us, because I would see on Facebook comments, why is this closed and why is that? And Jim was keeping us updated. So I just said, it was closed for repairs. It's now open and people were fine with that. They were glad it was being inspected.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
So the communication, I think, was very good for that.
that's good.
No, I agree. Good job, Jim. Did I miss anything on that, Jim?
No, I think that's good.
I know Sam Baumgartner had requested. I know we got a few emails or texts and stuff saying that he wanted to speak with us. I spoke to him last month. I forgot to tell you guys that at the last meeting. I spoke to him on the phone. It was the same thing. He just kind of wanted to know why the town of Bridgewater and Park and Recs didn't want to support the running program, but it was the same conversation that we had before, that it's just there, and it's not the way the town used to be, where we can just insure all these different organizations. It's up to him to do it. he was nice and receptive, but it seemed like he understood it this time. And they charge next to nothing. And I had said to him, I'm like, because they have over 100 members. I'm like, if you guys charge $75 to join the running club, which is cheap on the activity scale right now, we're paying $125, $150, $200 for sports in my house. People are going to pay $75, and that's more than enough to get yourself insurance to.
He wanted to keep charging, but he didn't want to, and he wanted to keep it underneath us.
Right.
Gotta understand that. He didn't want to come underneath us. So how can we support you if you don't want to go underneath the Bridgewater Recreation and the money comes to us?
Yeah, and we can't
Yeah.
manage that money anymore anyway. So it all has to be.
Yeah, well, we could put it into the revolving account. We could do something of that.
No,
nature.
it's got to be, to my understanding, that's why we keep everything, they all separate organizations, because we don't have that so much anymore. And that's why they have to supply their own insurance and do all their, but with him, it's not like we have a town track that here, sure, you have permission to use our town track like we do
Yeah.
with the other things, the pickleball courts and everything else.
Well,
So
you will be having a track pretty soon at the high school.
the high school will have it, but that'll be a high school thing, not a town thing. So
Yeah, but it's gonna be open, so they'll
Yeah,
probably
no.
use it.
and it's great. And he understood. He seemed to understand anyway. But it was basically the same conversation I think we had last year with him. So,
Yeah.
So
We gotta get this money thing straightened out, because if the pickleball group gives us money, how are we gonna accept it?
will we give that? Well, because that's so with running club. I think he wanted to kind of, or we talked about
He didn't.
we can't run the money. We can take the money from these organizations. Jim takes it from football, baseball, softball,
Yeah,
and then earmarks that money to go back into those facilities. We can do that. So if running club, let's say we had a track or a cross country
Yeah.
track, and they gave us $10 a head, Jim could spend that $10 a head on the track, and we
Yeah.
can do that. But we can't manage finances for these
Oh,
organizations.
no.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay.
So that was his.
Okay.
And I think he just, he was like, I guess we're just gonna have to get some insurance. And I was like, that's what we said last year.
Is that what that's his solution, Mark?
Yeah, well, I think because he wanted us to insure him. He wanted the town.
Yeah, that's the only option available to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just running, and they need insurance or a T-shirt they wear. And I just explained that to him too. I'm like, you just have to go out and get it. And
Does it seem like he's got to go along with that?
yeah, he said, he's like, yeah, I guess that's just the route I'm gonna have to go. And I was
Good.
like, they really don't want
It'd be
to.
nice to have. It would be nice to have a running club.
Yeah, and I told him he had the support of all of us because
We've had it.
there isn't any activity we don't support that's come before us in the year I've been here. We've been on board with everything. Just there's a way to go about doing it.
We've had it on and off for 20 years.
Yep.
With him. And he's done a great job. He's done it. He used to be underneath us.
Yep.
And then he wanted to go, he started
Do his
doing
own.
his own thing. And then
Didn't he leave and Joe Gillis took it over?
Yeah.
Good
got
call.
all that. Yep. Good memory on Mike. Good job, Mike.
Look at Mike. 70 years old, the man still got. He still has the Springfield touch.
Pickleball. They have done a great job organizing.
Jeff is a good man.
Jeff, I can't pronounce his last name.
Yes. Totally.
I met with him. I've been down the pickleball court several times, with several people, but I met with him. He reached out to me after he got elected president of the Bridgewater Pickleball Association, but they're doing everything they're supposed to do. They set up their nonprofit. He did a different nonprofit than some of the other ones, but he's working with the bank, and he was all about it, and they had a really sound plan and moving forward. So I'm going to bring him in next month just to give us an update. But he seems like he's got control of that whole situation down there.
What's his name?
Jeff. I don't even.
I'll say this too. I spoke, him and I played pickleball early morning at the Y. And I mentioned about Jimmy Campbell. We're gonna run a tournament, a pickleball tournament, and during that tournament, we'll dedicate dedicated.
Yep.
And it'll be under Bridgewater Pickleball, so they'll be able to. It'll be Bridgewater residents, and we have ages, So Mike, one age could be for you. A 70-year-old guy.
Sheena, are you laughing?
I'm not laughing. I'm thinking I'm probably in the same age group, Mike.
That's what I was thinking too, dear.
Jeff's
You
last
probably
name.
beat me.
This
What,
is
Mark?
this is a stab at Jeff's last name, and I'm not trying to butcher it, but Goss Siminski.
Spell
No
it.
wonder you didn't say it.
GOSCIMINSKI.
Let me write that down. GOSCIMMI.
Just one M. And SKI.
What kind of name?
Bosnicki, huh?
So we'll just call him Jeff. I think that was.
Jeff
that was
B?
I think that covers everything for updates. I'll cover that later on. Okay. All right. Jim, remember
Yep.
an email or a call from like a Cedar Street group or something like that? What was that all about? Do you remember?
Who is that? The Cedar Street?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
I
even.
don't remember.
I'm not even sure what it was.
What did that have to do with? Oh, was that the group that wanted to? They're going to start their own trail.
I don't know. I never spoke with them.
I don't think I did either.
No.
Let me
Okay.
let me check, and I'll get back to you in a second. See if I can.
All right. That's
I'll
fine.
see if I can track it down.
We had a Parklands update with John. It's good for him. If you guys want, we can do monthly with John, or we can do every other month. Whatever you guys think is necessary. You know,
Every
like,
other month is good.
Mhm. Yeah.
efficient as we can.
Especially in the winter.
Yeah, there's not a lot going on, so yeah, we'll keep him every other.
Oh yeah. Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I did meet with them.
Yep.
The Cedar Street Community Center. That's the church that's over by the Bridgewater State kind of faculty parking lot.
Yep.
And I went over there and looked at the facility. They put in handicap access, which cost them quite a bit of money. And I think they were just kind of reaching out to me. So if I knew anyone who wanted to use or kind of rent a facility, I could steer, or if we needed a facility to rent, we could
Gotcha.
we could send them over there. And I think also just like they said to me, if we wanted to run something, we needed help, we could reach out to them, or vice versa. I told them the same thing. So yeah, Stephanie Holmgren, I think her name was, and the other guy that was with her, I can't remember his name. I'll remember it, but he just bought the coffee shop that Danny Mahoney used to run down,
Okay.
just down the hill.
Yep.
Going towards Bridgewater, right just up the hill from College Town Mobile. So
Yeah.
He's a local businessman too. He's nice, real nice guy.
What's he gonna do with it?
It's a coffee shop now.
Tom, do you mean the hall or the coffee shop?
The hall, yeah. Which one? The hall or the coffee shop?
The church.
No, the coffee shop. He's gonna leave it a coffee shop.
It's the Boundless Bean, and it's a coffee shop. And one of the things they do is they employ I don't want to say handicapped,
Special needs.
yes, special needs people. Great cinnamon buns, by the way. But they also own good coffees too. They also rent out the old Eldon Cole Hall behind Boyden Hall. They rent that from the Methodist Church. And as Jim said, they just put in a handicap ramp. I went to a function there the other night for the winter wonderful, whatever the lighting for the town is, holiday lights. It's really fixed up nice. So if anybody needs a hall,
Yeah, it is
small,
nice.
yes, it's very good. And I'm not sure the guy's name, but it's him and his wife, and they do a great job with the hall in the coffee shop.
I think it's Hogan, Tom Hogan.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's his name. I just found it here.
Well, that's good. All right, excellent. Thank you, Jim. Some old business. So I emailed you guys all just a couple hours before the meeting, some, what I came up with proposed usage fees for the fields and facilities. That was going through all the town information, city information that Jim had supplied me with. What some of West Bridgewater, East Bridgewater, surrounding towns. So this was what I thought was fair numbers. Obviously anything with our youth programs, we're not looking, they already pay their, $25 a head or whatnot. Bridgewater Little League, youth football, the men's softball field, girls softball. It was, as we discussed, the club sports, the AAU, and whatnot. So at basketball courts, I think last time this was an issue, the outdoor ones, we came up with a fee of $50 an hour, and that seemed to work. They did a tournament, and I think that worked well for everybody.
Which one was this? Softball?
No, this is just the basketball courts over here. Yeah. The general field usage, I know somebody had a birthday party out there. They reached out to me. I reached out to Jim. We gave them a basketball court, Upper Stone Dust, and the gazebo. They were there for 2 or 3 hours. Kids had a blast. Charged them $100. Let them use the bathroom. They didn't leave a mess behind. So, well, I think we had brought it up. I think we had talked about it anyway. But something like that was simple enough. I think it was they did it on a Sunday. It was good just seeing people down here using the fields.
I think it's great. I think we have more we can close in on this here.
Yep.
It gets everyone off the hook.
Baseball fields, I think for the outside teams, the clubs, I think $60 an hour, I think was a fair price. If you need lights, it's a $50 flat fee.
Now the $60 an hour,
Yep.
who's gonna keep track of the hours?
Well,
Baseball games 3 hours?
Yeah, well, they're usually around 2 hours for the most part. Is what you get a little older, they get a little longer. But right now, the core people that are using this size fields, we're around, because most games you can't start a new inning after an hour and 45 minutes. So it's right around 2 hours. And I'm not looking to, I don't think we need to nitpick over 15 minutes. But if the base games are 2 hours, we hit them. It's $120. If it's a night game, they pay extra for the lights.
Now is that for the?
That is not for Bridgewater Little League.
Okay.
That's targeted to the club and AAU for-profit teams.
Right.
That's what it is. That's to go back and make the improvements here at Legion Field that we need. So
What about practices? Will you say anything about that?
I think
Because they practice a couple nights a week.
I think $60 an hour should be included in that. That's my opinion. You're still using a field.
Right. They'll have to repair the field.
It's wear and tear, and we've got Hayes and Lazaro in great shape. The fields are in great shape. Fence and the other facilities, storage sheds need some work. We'll get there. But as far as the fields, they're in great shape, and we want to keep them that way. Little League gave us some money too towards that. They want to keep them that way. No issue with these teams using them, but it takes money to maintain them and keep them that way. And we want to get these other fields, looking a little better too. So this is a great way to bring some money in for that, to help Jim out with his budget, to put money back into those fields. So I have, as you guys have heard me, I have no issue bringing that up to certain club teams. And I think just the sooner we get the ball rolling on that. I don't know how often people request Scotland Field, outside of the men's softball, but if they wanted to do it, I think the $60 an hour fee is still
Good.
feasible for that too.
Yeah.
And then they have
I
to.
think the only public relations you're gonna have is with the club team.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna say, well, we'll go someplace else. If that's the case, let them go.
They go somewhere else.
And what about the youth baseball during the summer, those camps? Same thing?
Yep, I had put here,
Because a lot of those kids are not from town.
you know what, I didn't, no, they're not. I missed, I did an updated copy. I think I sent you guys the updated copy. I printed out the old copy.
Yeah, it says
Yeah,
sports
right.
camp.
I've added sports camps
Right.
list too. And that's something that I think if somebody wants to hold a sports camp, I know there's somebody that does hold a sports camp every year. I think if they bring it to us, and I think the 5 of us, and talking to Jim, I think we can come up with some kind of fee based on how many people they're going to use. I think
How many people from town? How many
Yeah.
people from town versus how many people from out of town?
They do. It's a core group of. I would say this past year, just because I'm down here every day with baseball, I would say 2/3 to 3/4 are town people.
Oh, good.
So I'm glad they're using it. It's still, I think it was $150 for the week. But like we discussed, it's $150 for the week. None of that came back to Park and Rec to go back in the fields, and they're using every field that we have.
What did they pay us, Jimmy?
Who are we talking about again? We're
Well,
talking
camp.
about like AAU baseball, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's $2,000 for the year. That doesn't that includes the sports camp. That includes practice. That includes all the games. So
So that looks like it's going to change. Just to accomplish what we want to accomplish, and I've made no secret of the agenda. I'm trying to go here.
That's 30, let's round it up to 31 hours.
That's 31 hours. They're probably using more than 31 hours.
Jimmy, how about the play ball camp? That sports camp?
That sports camp, yeah.
What
Yeah.
did they pay? Do you know?
They're paying 150 for the week.
Now?
I believe it was. Yeah. Let me.
I think we just.
And what's the proposed?
They're gonna meet with us.
Okay.
I think Glenn was trying to sell the business. That's what I heard.
What's that?
What did you hear, Tommy?
Yeah, he was trying to sell it.
He merged with Nakota or something, some baseball sporting goods supplier. And I don't know all the details, and I don't care to know. It doesn't affect, what I'm trying to support here. But either way, and then there's other issues too, that there's going to be a lot. I have a feeling at the next meeting, if we pass this today, at our next meeting, there'll be a lot to discuss in regards to this and the storage shed and everything else. But as you all know, I didn't join to do nothing here. So I think the sooner we get the ball rolling on this.
I'll say this.
Yep.
I think we have to, he's been paying what, $2,000. I think really look at this and just see how much he still owns it. Now, if there's a new owner in town, then I have no problem saying, hey, this is the deal.
It's even if, to my understanding, and I'll find out next Monday, because I got to bring my kid over there to get next Monday. He didn't go today because I'm here. Oh, yeah. Glenn's over it. So it's there's a lot of things you're going to take care of. So this right here is what he did in a sports camp last year. Okay,
That's what we think.
that's my wife just told me what we paid, and I know we had 150 kids.
Yeah.
So even if I'm wrong, let's say I'm wrong by 7.
Okay, he paid his staff,
Right.
all the guys.
Yep.
So maybe, let's say he made
20.
$10,000. Nah,
I mean, either way, you know what? Either way, the $2,000 or $3,000 just doesn't cover the usage that they
No.
use.
I totally agree.
No.
And I'm all for, like, and this is how I'll put it to him too, is, this is what we would like to do. I know,
We'd like to improve the field.
we want to improve the fields. You guys have been coming here for decades. Give us your schedule, book your schedule. You want to pay, we'll give you first refusal for everything. Because it's a lot of Bridgewater kids, you're from Bridgewater, not looking to drive them out, just looking to get some of this back into the fields. I want to keep things moving forward. I want Legion to get better constantly. I'm on it already, and Jim and I have talked, we've got prices for new dugouts, pads. I got some more concrete prices for you too, Jim, that came in.
That's good.
So, I really want to.
I thought those were new dugouts.
We have 4 new dugouts. Upper Stone Dust, they're both gone.
Yeah.
We got to add them at Lower Stone Dust, and 7A and 7B here are going to need them too, because there's no sun shelter. But
I just want to do a dip with me on the guy. He's been there for 30 years.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It just we gotta Because if we do,
Quiet.
like I said, the town manager's office, Mike had told me, you want something, bring it to us. We'll find a way to fund it. I want a lot down here. And if I go back, we're like, look, we're able to maintain our own fields because we're bringing in revenue streams from here and here. It makes us look better when we go to the town and tell them we want money for multiple projects. That's my approach. Has everybody looked at Gina? Did you look over the fee schedule I sent?
I'm looking it up now.
I think it's fair.
If you guys think that's fair, somebody wants.
Said you sent it this afternoon?
I sent it.
Did you text it or email it?
I believe I emailed that.
Yeah, it was
It did.
emailed.
It was,
It was
emailed.
emailed.
It was done like an hour and a half to 2 hours before the meeting. So for me, that's really good. That's it.
Okay, I don't see it.
Gina, I just sent it to you. I just texted it to you.
Okay,
It's on your text messages.
Jimmy Small,
Yes, sir.
did you line the fields in the summer, during camp? Would you go out there and line the fields?
The camp for baseball?
Yeah.
Well, what the policy was when I took over for Charlie was we did it the first time of the year. And then after that, they were on their own. But for some of the bigger games at the end of the year, like playoff games and stuff, I would respray paint the lines because I have that field sprayer. Then I spray the real paint, so it really shows up. I double cut everything and rolled the infield, and it was more just because I wanted it to pop. So I sprayed it myself, but we basically usually just did it the first time for opening day. We all the senior field, Lazaro Hayes. That's
I was
pretty
talking
much it.
about camp.
Oh,
What-
that's the ball camp, Jim.
Yeah, Charlie used to do it.
What do you say?
Glenn's
I-
summer camp, the play ball camp. Did you do
Yeah.
any field maintenance for
Well-
that?
Well, the only thing we ever do is just because we pretty much have to, or else things get all beat up, is we'll push all the infield mix back at first and third, second and home, kind of, and repack everything through the pitcher's mound. We do that pretty much once a week just to get it back. They were supposed to do their own. They're supposed to kind of rake everything and leave it kind of the way they found it, but it's tough. They're playing all day long. Sometimes it's 90 degrees out, and I get that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah,
Matt?
I mean, Gina.
Question on the fees.
Yep.
We differentiate between, say, for general field use, between profit and nonprofit groups.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, depending on how it's put to us, if it's not our town league, obviously if 20 kids want to go and start playing baseball on one of our fields and play pickup baseball, personally, I don't care. I'd love to see it.
No, what I'm thinking is, say a church group
Yeah.
comes and they
Yep.
want to have an outing.
Yep.
Would they still be charged the same as if, I don't
No,
know, AAU comes down and wants something? I think we should differentiate between profit and nonprofit.
Yeah. If
10%.
I have no issue, whatever. Tom says give him 10% discount.
Free coffee.
If a church group wants to come and use our fields, personally, if they want to use them once a week, we have to look at the wear and tear. But
Right.
Tommy, maybe you can let them use one of your limousines to get up there, make some money.
Bus.
But no, with nonprofits, I have no issue if it becomes regular usage. I do know there's other club teams that would love to be able to have the opportunity to use our fields, and they're willing to pay. So it's I'm involved. I'm still young. I'm involved.
I would like to see something that shows, I don't know even how to word it, but if this is being
Everything.
publicized, I would like to see something that says nonprofit by something. So if I'm a church group or
Yeah.
I'm not talking the 15 kids that want to go down and do a pickup
Right.
pick up paying.
Yeah.
But say a group goes, a church group, they want to have some type of a small celebration.
Yeah.
If I were that group and I looked at this, I'd say, okay, $100 flat fee. I think it should be a little clearer. I think these prices are good, but it should be clearer that nonprofits are not the same rate. And like I said, I'm not sure how to word it in your list here.
No, well, and I wasn't an English major. Just giving you guys information that I said I would give you for this meeting. So we had something to discuss and potentially vote on. I've explained my many limitations to Allison so far about getting things posted on time and writing things the way they should be written and the way. So yeah, that all that can be adapted if we put that on an information page. That can all definitely be adapted to certain things. And what one thing people need to understand is any group that wants to use the field, it does have to go through Jim and the Park and Rec's office for approval. And 99% of the stuff is rubber stamp stuff anyway, that, you know, Jim is fine on his own, and it's this other stuff, you know, that, you know, Jim can fall back on. Yeah,
Why don't we just say that nonprofit groups meet with the recreation director and they have to leave it clean and a small fee will be charged, or Jimmy can.
Yeah, the fees to be discussed, or
Yeah.
you know, something, you know, we got.
That's a good idea, Gina.
Yeah, no, I think it could definitely be worded that way. I have no issue with that.
Yeah, I think the way Mike just said it is good.
What do you guys think about the amounts? Do you guys think those are fair amounts?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Would you guys want a motion and vote on any of those, or?
I
yeah, I'll
would-
make a motion. I'll make a motion, except if this is a fee structure.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye,
Just what discussion first
Yes, discussion.
before the vote. I agree with the prices, they're good, but before I vote on this fee schedule to approve it, I would like to see the wording for nonprofits.
I don't know if you want to go down that road.
We can, I mean, it's just a matter of nonprofit groups. See, when we put this on the information page, when we put this on the information page, we have to put clearly, you know, any field usage has to go through Park and Rec's office. And then we can all, you know, because I'm fine with not charging them. I'm fine with not charging nonprofits. I have no, you know, but like I said, if it becomes a regular thing, then we have to look into it. But that's why if we put on the information page,
have to speak with the director.
right, speak with the director, you know, and
Make soft.
But I still think, I agree that everything to put the sentence, everything has to go through the recreation superintendent. But I think this page also has to mention the nonprofits, as the sentence that Mike said.
it
But I
can.
can't remember what it was because I didn't write it down.
You know, one of the things, and you guys do what you want, and it's fine either way. You know, I'm here to give you guys ideas and tell you, you know, my thoughts. Just there's scheduling issues that are going to start. These AAU teams and stuff, they need to start applying their schedules and understand. And this is going to be a discussion. This is going to raise some hairs, and I need to have those discussions with people. So the sooner we get this, sooner we accept this, the sooner I can have those discussions. So I would like to have everybody on the same page by the first of the year. So when they're scheduling, that's the reason for trying to push it
Let's
through.
see if we can word this so that any nonprofit group that wants to use a facility will have to meet with the recreation director, and a fee or a non-fee will come up.
Yeah, well,
Will be
Great. Tommy, I think you made the motion, and Mike, I'm not sure which one of you did, which one did the
Yeah.
second. Can you just amend that to say a motion to accept, providing it's noted about nonprofit?
Okay.
Glenn will say he's a nonprofit. I'm telling you.
Well, divorces don't count. Okay.
No, Gina, I'm totally with you.
What do the motion? Accept this motion
Nonprofit groups.
with nonprofit wording being added to our fee schedule.
Correct.
Mhm. Yep,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. And I
Good.
think Mike has to re-second it. Or whoever has to.
I make a motion that we accept the fee schedule with the clause in it for the nonprofit groups.
Second,
Okay.
Second,
Okay, now discussion, no discussion, all in favor?
no discussion. Discussion's closed. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We got 3-0 and 1 not here. That passes.
4-0. 4-0.
What's that?
We got 4-0.
I can't vote though, right? I only vote in case.
yeah,
of
no, you
Oh,
can
you
vote.
vote.
6.
4-0. You are a better commissioner than I was.
The only thing I did was cut out pickleball. That's the only thing I've done that's beneficial. That's the only thing I've done. Okay, so that's good. I'll get the ball rolling on that. There will be a lot of discussion. Jim, you can point that all to me, and I'll relay information back to everybody else. And again, it really isn't. Yes, somebody uses those fields 90% of the time for what we're targeting here, but some money needs to go back into those fields to keep them and improve the other fields.
Signage is gonna get out there.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, that takes care of that for old business. Football season's over for me. I only coach one basketball team, so I have more time now. The next week or so, I can go over some of the questions and stuff that you guys have with Jason Rawlings. If you guys still want to schedule a meeting with him, next month.
Definitely.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll get that, and then I'll relay that information with you guys. There. Just to bring you guys up with dugouts and whatnot, as I mentioned, I got Jim has gotten some prices to build dugouts, and for definitely need them for the lower Stone Dust. I mean, upper Stone Dust. Lower Stone Dust does need them. But just want to let you guys know that's if it doesn't come out of Jim's budget, we'll go to Mike Dutton for it because we have to have them. You know,
They gotta be the dugouts the same as the other ones that are on.
can make them just like Charlie made them. Just like Charlie made them. The only difference is if there's any way to make them more maintenance free, PVC instead of, just prime pine, anywhere we can for the most part, we'll try to make them as maintenance free as we can. But same blueprint, majority pressure treated.
Thing down, all wide open like that.
I think I don't know. I don't know what Charlie's thought process was for doing it. One thing I do like about them is compared to the closed ones, is one, you get better, less pooling of water. You get more airflow. They're not as hot. I think you get less trash and less vandalism in the wide open ones versus the closed ones. Yeah. So I think we should adapt that. You put on the sides, you put the wind screens, the shade screens. The kids are fine in that.
Good.
Yeah, but I think
Is Jimmy gonna build those himself, or how's that work?
no, he's got some prices he's looking at right now for people to do them, local people to give. Obviously we don't want to bring. We can if we had to, but there's a million builders here in Bridgewater. I'd much rather
Sure.
prices from them.
Oh, absolutely. Well,
I would love to do it myself, but I can't.
Good way of get rid of your job here in the recreation. Conflict of interest.
It's my wife said too. She's like, why don't you just not be on the board and see if you can do all that work? I was like, I'm good at not making money, hon. Let me just do the stuff that doesn't pay. It's fine. New business. Playground plan. We kind of touched upon that. Basically, it's just ordering stuff that has to be replaced. No new structures. I think over here at Cottage, Jim, we talked about losing both the swing sets and adding one bigger swing set. Is that correct?
Yep. Keeping the same number of swings and style of swings, but just putting them on one frame, whatever you want to call it, mount.
Just because the inspector's biggest complaint there was they were up to code. Then the retaining wall was added. Now the swings are too close to the retaining wall. So if we move the whole structure, we get one new structure with instead of 2 sets of 2 swings, we get 1 set of 4 swings. And then we're good to go. that's kind of the plan there. And then Jim, like I said, Jim just ordering stuff that needs to be done and come up with a plan, whether Jim does it or we hire somebody to do some of the screws and lowering the rails and stuff over at Marathon Park to get them to where they need to be. And no, in my opinion, as again, I'm not 100 years old, but I've got 26 years of building experience. I listened to everything she had to say very carefully and took it all in. Marathon Park is not a total loss, and she wanted to almost close it down. There are things there can be done. You know, there's some easy paint work, you know, that, you know, Jim and his staff can take care of. But I don't think there's nothing, it's not far-fetched. We did a lot in a short period of time in one day to bring those up to compliance anyway. So I'll still talk to Jim about that and then bring you guys into the loop on it too. Obviously, if anything seems, you know, like we need any thought on a decision or anything like that, you know, I'll text all of you and get your thoughts on it. Not looking to bypass the process whatsoever. Just that day was just a matter of we had to get the parks back open again. So fortunately, another Jim couldn't have done it himself. So Jim does the majority of everything anyway. I just happened to be local that day and I had the time to help. So I was more than willing to do it.
Yeah, that was nice.
Scotland field usage. As you all know, we have a big field back there. I have a million ideas, but that's just me.
Are they using it for soccer anymore?
No, they're not. Jim had a great idea, and I love it. So, as you know, football practice, we're scattered around Legion Field and over at the middle school. Field 7A and 7B right out here take a beating from football. Jim had the idea. I went up and took a look, and we think we can get 2 football teams practicing on that back field. There's light posts there. So if we get the town to fund some lighting, all we have to do is the power's there, just run lights off the backside of it.
I think, you know, was there an issue there with neighbors? Could we thought about, we had a softball field down.
Right. And they go softball games start at 6, 7:30 and 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Practices go 4:45 to 7. So it's parking is only an issue. Our kids are going to be on that parking lot first. Softball, the first game, we'll have to make sure, you know, they find a place to park. But then once we're out of there in time for the second game to come in, and time shouldn't be an issue, lights shouldn't be an issue, because we don't go as long as softball goes. So
No one's using that field anymore.
Nobody uses it all. It's a waste of space right now.
Do they cut it? Jimmy cut it?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's a great idea, and it helps this field right here. So we don't have to. Jim said, if it wasn't for irrigation, this field out here would be a mess. But that, and then maybe we get one of the teams off the Williams field up here, the larger field. So I love the idea. So I think I'll talk to, as long as you guys are in favor of that, I'll discuss it with the football league for next year as far as getting up there. And I think it's just great. I think it's great we can use each other's spots instead of dead
Would we
land.
put a field up there? Would you make it a football field?
Is all we do for these ones
Yeah.
is
Line 'em?
we just line them. We line them ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, so just so you have your 10-yard, just that it doesn't have to be anything full size. I think that's why we can get 2 practice fields up there. Yeah, it doesn't have anything official. It's just so we get to practice, you know?
But it wouldn't be dark. Just get one light.
So we ran into darkness in October. We started running into some darkness towards the end of October. But we can ask the town for this. There's 2 light posts up there that if we put a couple lights on the backside of those, boom, you've got plenty of light up there. So no issues whatsoever.
Any impact on neighbors?
No more than softball does, and it doesn't go as late as softball. So
I'm talking 10 years ago.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, if we're allowed to have softball up there, and that's
Faces the other way. It's what's the name of that street out back there? You go.
it's that first left after
Red Wing,
it's not Red Wing. That's it's not Tabwood.
Brown.
It's before. Is it Brown?
Brown.
Yeah.
Brownfield.
Brownfield. I think you got condos there, don't they?
Brownfield?
But just
No.
take it, walk way back.
Yeah, but I don't think it's even now where a lot of the leaves have fallen. There's still good coverage there, and then you got Ferrari's wide open field on the other side. You've got a wide open lot on the other side, and
I'm good with it. I don't want to be
Yeah.
negative now. I'm just thinking.
no, and even if they have problems with that, I don't think I would fight for that. I would fight for that. It was one of those things where, and Jim mentioned it, and I took a drive up there, and I was tickled pink how convenient that would be, you know, with the lights and everything. And maybe Jim, if I go to the town too, asking for lights up there, possibly a shed too for the football team, so they can store some equipment up there, so they
Yeah,
don't. Legion.
that'd be real nice. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think that's something that it's a win-win for everybody, and it's not another empty space doing nothing. And speaking of empty spaces, also up to Scotland, they had taken out the old playground, and so you've got a big spot up there. It's still fenced in. When did that playground come out, Jim?
Probably the spring, early spring. It was right around when I did all that work up there. We put in all the, took out the dugouts, put in the vehicle barrier, laid some sod, all that stuff. It was probably March.
Why was that taken out, Jim? Just in disrepair? I can't remember.
Yeah, that thing was probably
Dangerous.
another 25 years older than the one at Cottage Street. So yeah, that thing was.
I think
was due.
there's two routes we can go there, and we can either we try to get a price for a new playground to see what it costs and get some funding for it, put a new playground up there, or we can turn it into more parking instead of just being.
I've seen this one time, wives, kids,
Yep.
young families.
I think putting another playground up there, I think it's a great idea, to be honest with you.
I agree. And also, I don't know if we've heard anything from the fire station. I'm sure it has a proper name, Fire Station Building Committee. That land, if you remember, was given to the town for passive recreation. And part of the plan is to put some type of passive recreation there. So we should think about that and put our plan in for that before they tell us what to do.
Yeah.
We can tell them what we'd like. I know the plan is to put trails out in the back to connect to the Murray Needs trails, but also I believe it was to put in a playground too, some type of recreation like that. And I think it's, as I said, I think it's something we should put some thought into so we can tell them what we want rather than them tell us what we're getting.
We got an installer,
Yeah, we do.
right, Mark? We
Yeah,
got an installer.
Let's call Jody. I don't think we can afford her. But all right. So I'll if you guys are fine with it, I'll see if I can get a quote on a playground up there anyway. Try to utilize the space the best we can, obviously up to code. And
We have to bid it, I think.
yeah, we'll bid it. Unless we-
Can I just, I don't know if it kind of goes with this and just a new business, community preservation. Next year, we're held by Mass General Law to have a 5-year plan, obviously every 5 years. And next year, this year ours runs out. So we're putting together another one. We have out to bid, or it's going out to bid for a facilitator to write it up for us. What we're going to do is community preservation. Well, the facilitator for community preservation is going to put together, if some of you remember 5 years ago, it was meeting with different groups and with the public in different committees. One of the things for community preservation is open space and recreation. So we should think of what we'd like to see for that, start thinking of it. And also, I'd like to see us have our own, like a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan for what we'd like to do. So we can be, as Mark's been very nicely doing, being proactive, not reactive to everything.
Yeah,
And
no,
all of us, all too, not just Mark.
Yeah.
Give credit to everybody.
no, it's great. And one thing that's I totally agree with you, Gina. And obviously I've been very aggressive with the things I want to see, and you guys have been great in supporting those. So it is good. But yeah, I think a plan, because in my head I've got a million things. I've got a 1 week, a 1 month, a 6 month, a 1 year, 3 year, and a 5 year Legion. And I told my wife if I get everything I want, and then in 5 years I'll be done. But it might be more of a fight than that. But any of the CPC money, can any CPC money be for anything down here, or possibly playground up at Scotland, or does it have to be?
Possibly a playground. I believe we paid for the dugouts at the big field. Jim, do you remember?
Oh, geez, I don't know.
We mentioned at another Parks and Rec meeting about playgrounds. I'm sorry, dugouts. I mentioned that to my co-chair on the CPC, and he said, "Ooh, that's that iffy thing." I researched. If you go to the Community Preservation Coalition site, you can search by open space. You can search by words. All projects that have been approved in the state since the inception of the Community Preservation Act. I did come up with some playgrounds. I'm sorry, dugouts, but it was more. My thought was for safety related. It could be, but they're few and far between. It was more setting up whole new fields. I'll continue to look at it, but it looked like just replacing them wouldn't, but possibly a new playground would be.
Yeah, no,
I think it's a good
definitely.
idea.
We'll be up for long term, and we'll see. And I'll stay in communication with you about that too, Gina, and
Mhm.
see how much I can harass you for money over there. So, a quick note in regards to the fees and whatnot. You'll notice softball missing. So I had Gary Schwartz is he's the president over there. I had about a 45-minute phone conversation with him last week, and I wanted to know how they did things over there. I know the money, the money wasn't all that much. They actually pay more. Jim, he had told me they pay more. They pay $35 a head, but their numbers are way down. He was
Yeah,
at one point, they were like 500 kids. They're down to like 100 and something. Softball. And then
Why are you dropping them numbers, Mark?
he said
Interest?
some of it's lacrosse, some of it's club sports are poaching a lot of their kids. So now what their focus is, they're trying to focus on quality over quantity. They said Taunton did that, and they built a real good program. I'm fine with that. I'm not going to dictate how different programs run, but I
Right.
like things he had to say. I brought up, told him I'm not looking to steal money from them, but my concern was the showcases, the AAU and everything else. And he told me he lets the police know when he's having a tournament, parking and things like that. Tells Jim things like that. So he's covering his bases there. They're charging AAU teams club teams, if they're holding tournaments, if they are practicing over there, they're taking that money and they're putting it back into their program. So, as I talked to him more, and I was like, is there some things you'd like to see down there that I can help you with, potentially? And one is two things that stood out that are of expense. One is the road going down there needs to be more stone dust needs to be brought in and leveled out. And then a couple of his fields have some pooling issues with water, so they got to be re-engineered a little bit. And the clay mix has to be brought in. So I sat on it for a little while and thought about things, because I want to be as helpful to every organization. My kids don't play softball, but I want to be as helpful as I can. My thought was something like the road needs more stone dust. I think that's something that maybe, should be where it's a road down to the fields. Maybe that's something that we can help with. I'll talk to Jim about it more. They can get some stone dust in and Jim leveling it out. As far as the engineering of the fields with the new clay mix and things like that, that stuff can get expensive. I'm happy they're not being taken advantage of. They're charging these club teams. they're keeping all the money themselves, but I think a larger project like that, and I'll relate, and if you guys agree with me, if they're handling all their own money, they can handle that issue themselves. And then,
Couldn't agree with you more.
and then if they run into issues and they can, or they run out of money, my understanding is they have plenty of money. Then that's their issue. They want to hold on to all their money. That's fine.
Why don't you see if you can, maybe we can help them with the road and they can
Yep.
do the fields.
Yeah, that
50-50.
would, yeah, that's so it shows that we're
'Cause
still.
I think the town has a box that fits behind a tractor and it can dig up the road that's there and kind of level things off and maybe
Yeah.
have a roller go over it afterwards.
Highway or gym or something like that, but
But
yep.
we're sort of contradicting ourselves. 'Cause
What?
we're sort of contradicting ourselves. Those fields are still our fields.
Yes, yep.
And if they have an AAU and they have clubs coming there, part of that money should be going to us.
The money we would collect from them would go back into their fields and their facilities for that purpose.
But-
So they're doing that anyway. They're taking that money. I totally understand what you're saying, because that was in the back of my head for our whole conversation, my whole conversation with him. But they're doing with that money what we would do with that money. It would just create another mechanism in the ground.
Little League doesn't, Little League fixes it themselves. The majors fix it. A lot of people do a lot of work, leagues
Yeah,
take care of themselves. We're trying to help do other things for Legion Field, for the girls. I think we set a bad precedence if we say.
well, they're still paying us money. They are still paying us money like Little League and football. They're still pickleball soon to be. They're still paying us money based on per head.
Yeah.
And so my thought was, if they're keeping that money and then they start asking us for major money, this and that, then it has to be and I'm not opposed to it. This is just my initial conversation with them. I like what they were doing there. But if that's a major expense they need, they get the money to do it, they should just do it,
Well, we can help, and whatever we say that we're charging those teams.
Yeah.
We gotta charge those teams, so we help pay for whatever they
Right.
need.
Yeah.
So, but it's not all the time.
Right. Well, it's even like here to a degree. We charge per head for the baseball players, but Little League put in like 15,000 towards the fields, and then I think Jim or the town might have put a little in too, to redo Hayes and Lazaro. So I think it's something I think I told him I'd like to keep an open line of dialogue with him, possibly have them at a meeting at some point after the first of the year, and just because they're kind of there by themselves. So if we just, I want open lines of communication with them, and so they understand where we're coming from, why we're thinking. So if we do hit a point where like, no, we think we should get a cut of this for this purpose, then at least they understand we're not blindsiding. Like, I just wanted to kind of open the communication lines with them anyway and get that rolling. So
Good.
that's where I stand on that. That was the conversation I had with him. Anybody else have anything under new business or anything else I'd like to
I would like to speak to having these meetings. I don't really care for the virtual meetings at all.
Yep.
There are other committees like the town council meet in sessions with people, and the citizen advisory, the same thing. I don't know why. My daughter was in the hospital today delivering a baby, and you don't
Congratulations.
you don't have to wear masks or anything like that. And I think this COVID thing is just another way of. It's much better having meetings when we're all in the same room together. Now,
But
if the
just-
COVID gets bad again, I'll go for the virtual meeting, but I can't stand them.
just hang on.
Mike,
Yep.
was
Just
gonna-
Mike real quick. Let me just Mike real quick.
Yeah,
Like
go
just hang on at the end of the meeting when we log off. Okay, just stay on for a little while. Gina.
Okay, I was just gonna say, if the only board I didn't know about the Citizens Advisory, the only other one that I knew of was the council. All others still have to meet by Zoom, but I would suggest. I've voiced my opinion to the town manager many times for community preservation and all committees for hybrid. I would suggest that our members, Mike, Tommy, Mark, everybody, Danny, voice their opinion to the town manager.
No, I agree with that. I
But
agree.
it says in the rules here, it's all because of COVID. And
It's-
it's been past COVID for quite a while.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's, I think we're heading out of it, and once, I'll discuss it at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
Like an idea. A next meeting date, the 4th of December, 7 PM. Does that work for everybody?
Mhm.
Sure.
Yep. Can I just,
Oh, I'm
Mark,
gonna be in Florida, Mark.
Well,
We'll
you
have
But
to do
it'll
it vir-
be
I'll have to do it
virtual.
virtually.
you have to zoom in anyway.
it'll be virtual.
Like my wife,
That's right.
you complain about it.
Oh, watch
Yep.
out now. You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
That's just-
Mark, can I just jump back to the fee schedule? When you mentioned pickleball a few minutes ago, it made me think there's nothing on there for a fee for pickleball. Say a group wants to come on and run a tournament or something. We
Yeah.
should have, my thought is we should have a fee for renting the pickleball courts too.
Yep, let's, I left that off intentionally, Gina.
Mhm.
Let's meet, because we can do whatever we want to this. Basically, we introduced and we passed a usage fee schedule for the first time. So now we have something. We can do whatever we want with it now.
Okay,
Let's talk to, I want to see what Jeff has to say next time he's here, and then that's something we can amend for next spring anyway, by the time they open back up. But great
okay.
point.
What's the date? When is it? December 4th?
December 4th.
Okay.
Okay, anybody, motion,
Yeah.
Tom, motion to adjourn?
Yeah, motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second,
Aye.
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 Allison, can you stop recording, please?